Hello and welcome to a very special video. Today I got Farv again. Hi Farv, how's it going?
Hey,
Are you ready for pre-order weekend madness?
you
And by
mean
that,
nothing
I
ever
mean
available in timely fashion madness?
AKA it's a good time to be a scalper madness. Okay, enough of that. But today we're going to talk a little bit about the third edition about of her Horus Heresy and just a little bit about things. So I thought let's start with what do we think the box is going to cost? What's your guess, Farv? I got mine locked in my brain.
My guess is generally about the $300 mark, given what little that you've seen come up from like Breakfast with Bando and some other people who've seen stuff leaked about it. I'm guessing about $300, especially given the way keep kind of pushing the ante up on their pricing.
So you're thinking they're gonna move into that big they're gonna move up to triple digits. Okay, well I think it's gonna be somewhere around 225, 250,
Really?
and I still think that's pretty high for a box. This box should not be more than 180, honestly, and I still think it should be probably all the way down at 120. But I'm pretty sure they're going. It's got to be somewhere over the 200 mark. I just don't see it not being, especially considering what's in it and their usual price point. But
Mm-hmm.
I could see them going for the greed and going straight to 300. I mean, considering people have repeatedly um, paid these amounts of money, I have a
Yeah.
hard time not seeing them do that. So there's that. So this weekend we're going to be having the pre-orders open up, and I'm sure you're going to see some of the third party. Like the stores start doing some pre-orders as well for people to secure their
Mm-hmm.
order or to try to secure it because Lord only knows. Especially with our local store, they just ended up
Yeah.
throwing their hands up and stop stocking GW because the sales rep was garbage.
Yeah, it's been like almost a year since they ever had any, I think. They just have a couple of things that have just been sitting on the shelf. That
Which
was all
is
that was left.
really unfortunate because I generally only bought a lot of it because it was at that store.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting it's probably going to sell out pretty early. Um, I don't think this product selling out is going to be any statement on the viability or acceptability of it. Honestly, a lot of things sell out that are made by GW, and well, let's just be perfectly honest. Don't mean shit. I
Well, we've
mean,
seen plenty of examples where a lot of the product buyout comes from, like you said, scalpers grabbing up everything so they can sell it later, either in parts or as an overpriced full set when they can't get any more from GW because they sold them all, or the guys who they buy it realize they paid too much for it and ended up reselling it because they can't afford it.
yeah, and quite honestly, the thing is, with a lot of this, I I, I just don't think it's healthy. If you want my advice, guys, unless you're doing this as a job and you have to talk about it and you're doing it on your own, okay, go for it if you can get it. Otherwise, wait a month. See how you feel, see how things play out, find out more about what the edition is from the people who get it early. Don't jump in. It's just you can use that time to put a little bit of money to the side for it and just use that time to make a better purchase for yourself at the very very least. But I'm expecting it to sell out. Just generally I expect it to probably be gone within if I'm generous the first 30 minutes to an hour. And I think I'm being generous. I feel like it's probably going to be gone within a minute because there's so many people who use programs these days, and
You mean those bot things?
yeah, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely insane. But Well, no, so that's what's going on this weekend. So I'd suggest people keep cool, see how things are, see what the information that comes out without the GW spin slash hype. On the other end, yeah, Farv, why we're here and we're just yammering. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I thought we'd talk a little bit about just the idea of a third edition to Horus Heresy to begin with, and tie that into a little bit of one of my big problems when it comes down to it with
Yeah.
Games Workshop and Warhammer editions. Um, so I'm gonna start with this
Let me
statement.
preface before you get into that with this is not the first system or game we've dealt with where we had an issue with the edition creep either.
Yeah, the edition churn is a thing. I understand it from a business perspective. I'm purely talking about it from my own man on the ground perspective, just in case people are wondering. And
Right.
the thing is this: I came into when they finally got past when leaks came out and people started talking about a third edition, and people knew with the way that GW does editions that we were in that time slot for it. And then we finally had it. And the thing I kept asking, and I think this is a really basic question most people should ask, is was this needed in any regard? Do we need an edition? And that question's a double-edged sword in this regard.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the answer is no, you don't need it. The other answer is there was a lot of things that they screwed the pooch on when it comes to second edition. There's a
As
lot of
usual.
ways it could have been way better than it is, and I think the adoption of a third edition, if it was an edition that was there to go, hey, look, guys, we know there's a lot of inconsistencies with the last edition. This edition is all about just cleaning that up and presenting a consistent, clean rules. I think that would have been met with a lot less dread than we have right now, especially
Mm-hmm.
for me. I've been looking at it and going, I really am not excited for a new edition. I'm not excited for product and ready to be excited for next product.
Yeah. God, that fucking mentality.
But the other thing is that they keep trying to claim that they have not changed much, while at the same time, I'm looking at this pile of like stuff they're tacking on, and I think I've complained about it enough. But when I saw that they were adding extra attributes or stats to characters, I had this thing where I was like, I don't mind potentially if something gets added and it adds to something.
Right.
Like I think a willpower stat could be good for especially if you're dealing with psionics and psychics and all that stuff. I think that could
Makes
help
sense.
kind of give them a little bit more depth. But my problem was is I sat there going, but all of this is just basically your leadership now parsed off into its own thing.
Pretty much, yeah. Which
Was
is
the
a bit
game,
silly in itself.
and we come back around, we ask the question of, well, we stopped using those stats to simplify the system and bring it under this one stat. Now we're going back and bringing back these to make the same mistake and add more to the system that doesn't need it. So
Mm-hmm.
honestly, I really do not think this edition is going to be good for Horus Heresy. I think it's going to be an offboarding spot for a lot of people. I think a lot of people are going to see this as a way for them just to go, I'm done, or you know what, I'm good. I'm going to stay with what I got. I'm not
Well,
going with you.
it's like GW doesn't seem to comprehend that there's not as much crossover between 40K and Horus Heresy as they apparently think, and a lot of people went to 30K to get away from all the 40K shit they didn't like, and they keep kind of oozing this shit into like the 30K end of
People
things.
left 40K because of tacked on extra layers of bullshit, and they wanted a system that's more like, well, for better or worse, second edition Horus Heresy was at least, if you stripped out the stupid, pretty much
Yeah.
a standard like seventh edition style um, rule set, and people were wanting that. And I think that's something Games Workshop
Mm-hmm.
has really missed the boat on, is that there's a lot of people who don't like the,
Missed the boat. Hell, they torpedoed the damn thing.
well, they don't understand it, and they've been bombing it the entire time. But I think they don't completely grasp why people, because I don't think the people in charge of Horus Heresy like Horus Heresy. They're just
It don't
going
seem
through the
like it.
motions. They're just producing things, and they're obviously making things that are interesting to them and making the same mistakes they are with 40K. And
Sheesh.
I, I, I look at it and I'm like, this. I do not think this edition is a healthy or warranted thing that is going to make anything better for the game as a whole. And I kind of worry about what it is going to do in retrospect to Horus Heresy being a mainline game. Now, I think there's a part of me that's really okay with it just being something Games Workshop lets die and just stops touching it. But
Uh, Looking at it in the Star Wars way, are you?
Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Marvel, DC, the list goes on. But
Evidently.
I'm
Not
just
that I can really disagree.
I hope for the best because I want the system to do well and to continue into the future. But I expect the worst because, quite honestly, Games Workshop has done nothing but enshitify everything they've touched since 8th edition. And they were already bad before that, don't get me wrong. It's just
Yeah.
8th edition marked a point where they just started doing things that would obviously destroy the product with no concern for it. And
Evidently.
that really does bother the
Like, I
hell out of
literally
me.
haven't seen any evidence to the contrary in quite a while.
Well, I keep seeing the same concerns over and over again where people go, "Hey, could you stop destroying things?" And they're like, "Yes." And we'll do that by destroying
Say, now
more.
buy this thing where we destroy other things.
It does feel that way. Um, so I'm not looking forward to the new edition. I would, if I can, I will try to get a hold of some of the stuff to talk about it. But I don't expect good things, and I really do suggest
And
people.
frankly, I don't expect there being much ease in getting a hold of any of it either for not quite a while.
Well, yeah, I definitely say that's why I said like wait a while. I mostly just want to talk about what is being done and kind of go from there. But jeez, man, I am quite concerned about what is going to go on in the future with the setting as a whole. And
Yeah.
I can't say anything good. So we're looking at the weekend for the pre-orders to come in. We've made our guesses. Do you have anything you want to throw on there?
I just, like I said, I'm figuring a good chunk of these are going to go to the scalpers, and then they're going to get trotted back out on eBay or wherever else they can get away with it at increased prices because what demand there is going to go up because GW is not going to have enough copies to distribute to the people that are still buying this crap. And this is what happens every time recently with these releases because they release them suddenly with very little, actual like advertising or alert to anybody beforehand. So they just spring this shit on people. And so the people who are watching this shit like a hawk, usually looking to profiteer on it, always get the stuff first.
Yeah. Well, it's
It's
gonna be
it's a lousy way to run a business, but they don't seem to care as long as the scalpers pay them.
Well, they don't care as long as their warehouse empties. So, in short, I think that we're going to find out very quickly what we're facing in terms of this new edition, and
Yeah.
I think it's going to be out the 27th. That's when it ships, I think.
Sheesh. That'll be in a couple of weeks, sounds like.
Yep. So we're gonna have the pre-order weekend, then we're gonna have a couple weeks, and then it ships. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. So thanks for joining me. Farv's got his own channel. Go ahead, pitch it.
Yeah, it's sorry, you just kind of caught me off there. Farvithian Guard is the name of my channel. It's a gaming and occasionally gaming news discussion channel. We got a few different things we do on there. You should check it out. There's also a link on that channel to my fantasy novel, the second of which we're hoping to have done in a month or two. We'll see. Beyond that, that's all I got.
Hey, thanks everybody for joining us, and if you made it this far, goobly gobbly. I'll see ya tomorrow or whenever. Bye bye.